Hey guys, welcome back to another lesson. Today I'm going to show you 6 exercises for working on your arpeggiation skills. They're going to be introduced in order of increasing difficulty. I'm going to first present each exercise slowly and explain how to play it. Then I'll explain how to practice the exercises themselves. And finally, at the end, I'll have a little surprise for you. So I hope you'll stick around. Let's start with the first exercise, and for concreteness, I'm going to pick a simple chord, the C major chord. The first exercise just gets you sort of up and running doing arpeggiation. You're going to need a pedal for this, so your piano or keyboard should have a sustain pedal. And what you'll be doing for this exercise is arpeggiating the C major root form chord. It will sound like this. And you can play a bass of a C in the left hand. So I'm playing here C, E, G, E, G, E, and repeat. Now, if you have a chord progression that you like, you can play these chords using this pattern. For example, C major, A minor, F major, G major. Moving on to the next arpeggiation exercise, this one starts stretching your hand a bit. So again, we're still playing the C major chord. So these notes are C, E, G, and C. And now what you'll be playing is the following pattern. So I'm playing here C, E, G, E, C, G, E, G, and repeat. The purpose of this second exercise is to stretch your fifth finger relative to your third finger, and pay attention to the fingering I use here. So I'm using the thumb for C, first finger for E, third finger for G, and fifth finger for the upper C. Of course, again, if you have a chord progression that you like, you can play the entire chord progression using this arpeggiation. You should also practice this arpeggiation for all chords, both minor and major, say, on the keyboard. So there are 12 major chords, 12 minor chords, and you should just practice all of them. I'm just demonstrating this for the specific form of C major here. For the third exercise, I'm going to add some hand motion. Let me play it for you, and then we'll break it down. Playing this slowly, I'm playing C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, C, G, E, C, G, E, C, E, and repeating. And so on. Now, this exercise works on two additional aspects of playing arpeggios. First of all, you're moving your hand, so the position of the hand changes, which is one difficulty. And the other difficulty is when you're playing the second form of, this is a C major chord, you're again working on stretching your fingers. So you should be feeling the stretch between the fourth and fifth fingers, as well as the second and fourth. When you watch me playing this arpeggio and all of the other arpeggios, be mindful not only of the notes, but also of the fingerings, the fingers that I use to play the arpeggiation. For the fourth exercise, I'm going to extend the third exercise by going up farther. So let me first play it, and then we'll break it down slowly. So you've probably noticed that the beginning of the exercise resembles the beginning of the third exercise, but for the fourth exercise, I'm going higher up on the keyboard. And let me show you exactly what I'm doing. So I'm playing C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E. And up until now, I've played the beginning of the third exercise. But now, instead of going back down, I keep going up. G, C, E, G, and C, E, G, C. Once I hit this upper C note, I go back down. G, E, C, and repeat. What this does is, again, it gets your hand moving across the keyboard, and it also adds this additional position. So if you've been paying attention to the video, you've seen that what we're actually doing is we're playing this form of C major, and then we're arpeggiating this form, then we're arpeggiating this form, and then we're back to arpeggiating the first form, and then going down. So this gets you used to switching between the different forms, or more correctly, inversions of the C major chord. For the fifth exercise, we're going to do something slightly different, which is we're going to alternate notes. And let me play it for you, and then we'll break it down. It's a little bit confusing when you play it at first, so you have to work on it slowly, of course. And let me show you exactly how to break it down slowly. So I'm actually alternating between notes in the C major chord. So I'm playing C, G, E, C, G, E, C, G, and then going back down. And repeat. And so on and so on. What this does is it gets your fingers sort of jumping across the keyboard. And again, it's important that you pay attention to the fingering I use, because that will get you working on these sort of usually weak points of players. For the sixth and last exercise in this video, I'm going to play an advanced arpeggiation that is going to take into account everything we've done so far. So this is going to be difficult, so don't expect to be able to play this at first, but with practice and time, I hope you will. I'll play it first, and then we'll break it down. So you start by playing a double bass in the left hand, C and C, and then and so on and so on. So let me show you what I'm playing, and this is really going to challenge you and put you to the test. And don't feel discouraged if you cannot play this at first. This requires a lot of practice and confidence on the keyboard. So first be sure to master all of the previous things I've shown you, and only then attempt this last form. So I'm starting out with a double bass of C, and then I'm basically playing the same form going up and down the keyboard. So I'm playing a C with the thumb, a G with the second finger, I'm sorry, a C with the fourth finger, and then an E with the fifth finger. And then I squish my thumb here and hit the C again, and I repeat the same shape. C, G, C, E, C, G, C, E, C, G, C, E. Now once I hit the E, it's going down. So E, the same fingering exactly for when I play the shape. So E, C, G, C, E, C, G, C, E, C, G, C, and repeat. Now, let me give you some pointers on practicing these. First of all, you have to start out slowly. So it's better to play something well slowly than fast and poorly. It's important to build up your skills correctly when you learn these things. So it might be tempting to try and play something like, but you're not doing yourselves any favor. You're just instilling bad habits and bad motor skills when you're doing this. So it's better for you to play this very slowly, whatever you're playing. And so on, then playing something fast. Speed will come with time. And sometimes this will take months or even years, depending on how much you practice. But it's very important to get the basics down right. You have to feel that you're pressing each of the keys with equal weight. So especially when you use your fifth and fourth fingers, you might at first feel like you're having difficulties pressing down the keys, because your motor skills and your muscles are not properly trained for these two fingers. They're usually weaker than the first three, which is fine. The way to counteract this and to get your fingers stronger is, again, to practice things slowly. Take your time and be sure that you're playing slow enough that you can hit each of the notes with equal force, and you can feel comfortable in doing so. Finally, you can start by practicing this on the C major forms as I've shown you, but you should, over time, practice these also on other chord forms, other inversions, other chords, and so on, both minor and major. And this will build up additional skills. This is not just playing the same thing in different ranges, because as you'll find out when you do this, playing different chords will actually require you to stretch your fingers somewhat differently. For example, if you think about the second exercise, so playing the C major like this, is going to feel different than playing, say, a D major. And this is going to feel different than playing a B flat major. You'll see that when you, for example, stretch your third and fifth fingers between F and B flat, this is going to be a different stretch than when you stretch them between G and C for the C major chord. So it's going to put different demands on your agility and ability to stretch, which is good. Finally, I've promised you a little surprise at the end of the video, and the surprise is that the last arpeggiation I've taught you is actually the beginning of one of, in my opinion, the most satisfying etudes ever written, which is the Waterfall Etude by Chopin. So if you really want to hear this as to what you should aspire to, maybe if you want to be a classical pianist, or you just want to see how amazing some players can become when they dedicate their lives to the instrument, just go ahead to YouTube and Google Chopin Waterfall Etude. There are many famous pianists out there, from Rubinstein and Ashkenazi and many others, who have recordings performing this on YouTube. And it's quite inspiring to see exactly just how far technically they take this. Don't be discouraged that there are such amazingly talented players out there in the world. Rather, I hope you should let this inspire you, sort of give you an idea of the extent of the human spirit in some sense, as to how far you can get if you dedicate your life to an instrument. And it's fine if you never reach that level. These people have spent their entire lives practicing. And it's okay if you just practice half an hour or an hour a day not to reach their level. But it's still inspiring, in my opinion, to see what very talented individuals can achieve on the piano. That's it. I hope you've learned something interesting, and I'll see you next time.